first we're going to remove the bumper. I have a video for that. You got the snorkel ducts or whatever, you're going to have to take these off. They do not fit with the Wagner Tuning intercooler. Stock ones you can put back on, they do work with it. But we got some aftermarket ones in the works doing the same purpose as this, but will work with the Wagner intercooler. Hose clamp on the passenger side. I guess you need a special tool for it, or I'm just going to get some pliers and loosen it up and put my own hose clamp on. Used regular pliers to loosen it. A little slot where this hose clamp goes in, so it'll just stay on there. On each side, we're going to undo the bolt and the nut there to take off this little plastic grommet for the top side of the stock intercooler there. There. And you don't need this for the new Wagner intercooler. The bottom one you will, that'll stay there. The top mounting bracket for the stock intercooler is off there and there. So this whole crash bar bracket I can loosen, pull back temporarily so I can slip in the Wagner Tuning intercooler, and then we're gonna put this back. Putting on the air duct snorkels. I zip tied this wire to there because I had to take the shroud off. The shroud's not going to work for this intercooler anyway, but unplug it here and there so this can sit back far enough so I can slip in the Wagner intercooler behind it. Once the clip is released, just push that off. That's it. A little tighter, just give it a little wiggle and it'll come off. A lot of mounts we're going to use, so make sure you take them off of here if they stick, and just put them right back there. She out of there. This has to go behind this little tab. Undo 10mm there, 2 10mm there, and we're going to put it behind and then reinstall the nuts for the oil cooler. Cooler is off. Take the speed clip from this side and the 2 from that side and install it on the oil cooler itself. That's how they were on this clip. So I'll put them the same way on here. And we're going to slip this behind it and the nut right in front, and it'll be secure. So far, believe it or not, putting those clips onto the oil cooler was actually the hardest part. So 2 on the back of on that side, 1 on that side, and give it a little kind of strong push. Make sure you don't damage any of these fins anywhere, and it'll slip in this side first, and then this side will come down snug, and then reinstall the nut. Install it on there, and there is plenty. Can't focus. There you go. Plenty of clearance behind there on all parts of the oil cooler. That's not going to hit the radiator. Just enough right there. Take the bolts off this crash bar here and pull it out a little bit so we can slip in the new cooler. Off all these rev nuts that came with it. There's 2 of them. A rivet, but it has threads on the end. So, and if you don't have a rev nut gun, I'll show you how to do it with it's M5 by 0.8. Just need a long nut or bolt, screw, and a couple washers. That's it. And one's gonna go in this hole here, which is right underneath that square space, and the other on this side, right underneath that square. So here it is. It's gonna go inside there. Fits nice and perfectly, and then you're gonna screw that onto there. And we're going to screw this nut that way, and it's going to pull the threads towards us and lock it into place, and then we'll have a nice little screw spot for our bracket. Because I don't have a phone holder out here, but so you're going to hold this with a socket, which is a 8mm, and then a wrench. You're going to wrench that tight while holding this still, and it's going to squeeze that rev nut together and lock it into place in that hole. So now we can screw our bracket to the rev nut, and it's tight enough. We'll hold this outer side, and then we're going to loosen that nut right there, and then take this whole thing off, and did it right, and should come out, and the rev nut should stay. and hopefully not spin. If you over tighten, then this thing can spin and you won't have anything to tighten it with. You won't be able to tighten it. The bolt in there, rev nuts in there, I got a few washers, and then the nut, I actually have a ratchet 8, and I'm going to be ratcheting that forward, and then holding this head of the bolt as tight as I can, and make sure you push forward as you're tightening that, so that the rev nut is pushed forward and then the back side pushes and scrunches. So that was actually one of the second hardest part about doing this install, is this stupid little bolts and nuts. So you want to make sure the rev nut's nice and tight in there so that you can tighten your bracket and it doesn't spin inside the hole. To take off these little plastic holder clips for this wire, for the front bumper sensor and all that, and then we can take this down temporarily. Anything, I would pull the intercooler out, take this little bracket here. This one, there's 2 Allen head nuts. One's M5 small, goes up there to hold the bracket to the car, and then these are the M6, the bigger ones. That's going to go on this side, the back side, and they're going to go through the bracket and into these nuts there. Mine aren't long enough to reach the threads on the inside. So, and I'm going to have to either shave the bracket down so they go down further, or I got everything apart right now, so I'm going to have to make these work. So make sure that fits on there. If not, you're going to have to get longer Allen head screw bolts, or you're going to have to shave this bracket down so this goes down further. Unplug this, 2 10mm bolts took out, and kind of gently wiggled this out of here. 10mm bolt right there, and that'll come off. This one come off, and then just undo that little baby hose down there, and then we can take this stock charge pipe out. Wiggle this sensor, clean off the rubber part that goes in the hole, wiggle it down there, tighten it up. Don't go too tight because all these are aluminum. Don't want to strip the threads. Off the throttle body, I'm going to put another rubber hose here. So we're going to take that hose clamp off. One bolt on a bracket attached to the charge pipe that you have to undo down there. Charge pipe hose clamp, got this out, so then I can wiggle that out a lot easier. And don't forget to put on the charge pipe bracket. This side will go on with one of these little nut. Other side goes on with the big screw that you took out for the stock charge pipe. There is, I don't know if you can see it. Yep, right there. That's where that hole goes, and the other goes to the back side of the charge pipe. This is the way the bracket's going to go on there. Backside screws to the charge pipe, and it bends away from the front of the car, and then take this sleeve and ground it off of the old charge pipe and put on the new charge pipe. There's a sleeve on, it's going to bolt just like that to its spot under there, and then this side is going to bolt to the back side of the new charge pipe. Got the charge pipe on there, kind of like a snug, each hose clamp there, that one down there, which comes all the way around and wraps around here. Snug them all, make sure everything's on 100% flush there, and then tighten all the hose clamps down so it fits there. The bracket, make sure the bracket, where is it? Oh, there. Make sure, and then hand tight the bracket as well, and then hand tight the bracket as well, and then tighten them all down. You can reach them all. I believe it's a 10mm behind there, and then this is about also a 10 on this side. To make it a little easier, you can take off your intake, so you can make sure this is perfect in there and there's not going to be any leaks. And then put back all your sensors and MEP and air sensors there and there. The U-hose clamp there, which goes to that tiny pipe. So this is basically this is the only pipe that goes from a big huge clamp down to a real tiny one. Make sure that's all tight. And before you start, open it all up in your house or garage. Go through all the instructions and make sure you have everything included with there. All the instructions are pretty decent. You can watch my video as well. The issues I had were the stupid Allen head. These ones fit fine in the front of the intercooler for the air shroud. The back ones here, they weren't long enough to go through the bracket, a washer, and into the intercooler. Threaded nuts there, and not even with the washer, it was still short. So I had a spare screw that went in there. So I would put this bracket on the intercooler first and see if it works. If it doesn't work, go and get a longer M5 or M6 Allen head nuts so that they will fit in there. It can go all the way through. There's plenty of room for them. I don't know why they were so short. And then they just bolt here, and that's where you put your little rev nut there. You can proceed to put your bumper back on and the under protection, and you'll be good to go. And make sure you don't got any leaks anywhere.